Hi, this is William from Great Affordable Watches, and today I'm going to review the Peren Nera Rogue. And this is a really interesting diver from the microbrand Peren. And we're gonna get into the design later on in this video, but first let's go through the specifications. The case size is 39 millimeters in diameter. It is around 49 millimeters lug to lug. It got a lug width of 20 millimeters. It is around 12.8 millimeters thick to the sapphire crystal. It is water resistant down to 20 ATM or 200 meters, and it got the Sellita SW200 movement, which is very similar to the ETA 2824. So a really solid Swiss-made movement. And the price of this watch right now is around $500 US. Okay, let's start with the dial. And the dial is actually pretty interesting. It is in some angles black or gray, in some angles it's green, and in some it's blue. So it's a really interesting dial. And of course we got painted rectangular markers or square markers. We got white hands, a hint of yellow at 6 o'clock, and perhaps the most interesting thing about this watch, or the most unique thing, is the bezel. And I couldn't find any information, but I believe the insert in itself is ceramic. It feels very similar to ceramic, so that's my guess. But the bezel in itself is actually PVD coated in black, and I think it looks really interesting. I have not seen this type of bezel before on a diver. So yeah, a really interesting design decision. And I think this watch looks really modern in my opinion. I think it's a really modern take on a vintage looking watch because it also feels pretty vintage. It's inspired by a vintage watch, I believe. But on the other hand, it feels really modern, and I think they have actually nailed the middle ground between a modern, unique watch while still feeling pretty classic and vintage. And of course, this strap actually helps with the vintage feeling. But yeah, I think it's a really interesting design. I think perhaps this design is not for everyone. It looks a bit different to your typical diver these days, but I must really say that I think Peren have actually nailed the design. I think it looks really unique and yeah, interesting. Okay, let's move on to the case. And the case is all satin finished, and I think that's a really nice contrast between the PVD coated bezel and the case. And we have no polished surfaces whatsoever, but I think this is a really nice look. We also got a screw down signed crown, and that's one thing I noticed is the crown. It feels really solid, very sturdy, and I think a good looking big crown is something I personally like. So yeah, that's great to see. I have seen that some people have complained about the thickness on the previous version with the see-through caseback, but they've actually changed it to a solid caseback, and I think that was a great decision to keep the thickness down, because this is a fairly slim watch considering the water resistance and all that. So yeah, a great decision, and in my opinion, a Sellita SW200 is, while a great movement, I don't think it's the prettiest. So yeah, a solid caseback to keep the thickness down is, in my opinion, the right decision. The caseback overall got a lot of text, and it's fairly simple. Not the best looking caseback, but if it keeps the thickness down, I'm more than happy with it. But perhaps a more decorated caseback would be another upgrade. But now let's do a wrist shot so you can see how it looks on my 7-inch wrist. Okay, here it is. And I think this watch sits really nicely on my wrist. It's fairly thin, and it feels really comfortable. And I really like the shape of the case. I think the case shape is really good looking. yeah, overall, I'm actually really impressed with this watch. I think for the price of around $500 you get a really good looking, unique looking watch with solid specifications, a Swiss made movement. So if you like the design of this watch, I think it's actually a great purchase. And the only thing I can come up with that is perhaps something negative is the fact that the PVD coating is most likely more scratch prone than the ceramic insert, or I should say it's definitely more prone to scratches than the ceramic insert. And I think we will see how the PVD coating will hold up, but I'm guessing with the modern technique and all that, I think the PVD coating will hold up, but that's just my concern, my only concern with the coating. But other than that, I think this is actually a really nice watch, and I could definitely see myself purchasing one. I think this is a great looking modern watch with some vintage inspiration or vintage feel. So yeah, overall a really great watch. And let me know what you think of the design of this watch down in the comment section. I really want to know what you guys think of the bezel. I personally really like it, but my guess is that some people won't. So yeah, it will be very interesting to hear your thoughts. Okay, thanks for watching, and if you liked this video, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more watch related content. And I hope I see you in the next one. Bye.